In this lecture, we will start working with Quickbooks. Quickbooks is an small accounting software which can be used by any small or medium-sized companies to manage their expenses, to manage their employees, their payroll system, and Quickbooks also have recently released their new product called online banking, which can be used to charge the payment to their customers or to their clients with whom they are working. QuickBooks have two types of software. Earlier they had QuickBooks Desktop, which is also known as point of sale, and then now they have recently released cloud-based system, which is QuickBooks Online. So in this integration, we are going to work with QuickBooks Online. So let's quickly see what we are going to do here in this lecture today. We will sign up for a 30 days trial account because it's a paid account and we cannot have a lifetime free account, but we have the ability to sign up for a 30 days trial account, which will be enough for us to do the integration and do the testing of our implementation that we are going to implement. I have given the document over here, the link for the sign up of the free account. We can sign up with that and we will do the sign up right away. And then there is also a link for step-by-step solution to implement and set up the default sandbox for the demo purpose. We will be using the default sandbox. Why? Because default sandbox have some default data, or we can say that predefined set of data which we can use for our integration purpose, and we can directly start hitting the APIs after we did the authentication part. Then after we are going to read the API, the first thing that we always talked about, we are going to understand what kind of authentication this API is giving us, and then we are going to get the access token using Postman and our Google browser, and then we are going to make some simple APIs using Postman to see either those records are getting created or not. QuickBooks Online API uses OAuth 2.0 for the authentication purpose. That means it is going to have two-step process for getting the access token. Whenever you heard the word OAuth 2.0, this should immediately click on your mind saying that this is going to have two steps. The very first step is going to hit a URL into the browser, which will take you to the resource owner. Resource owner, that means first thing is the resource. Resource is QuickBooks because we wanted to access QuickBooks resources, and the owner means if you have access to QuickBooks account, you are the resource owner. And then it is going to take the consent of the resource owner to allow or to access that protected resources. Once you are allowing that, it is going to return you the authorization code, and once you got the authorization code, with the help of that authorization code you can get the access token. And that authorization code that we will be getting in the very first step is valid for 60 seconds or less, so we immediately need to use that authorization code to get the access token. And once we have used our authorization code, we will no longer be using the same code twice for getting the access token. And then here are few production base URL for the QuickBooks, sandbox base URL for the QuickBooks. As we stated that we are going to work with sandbox, we will be using sandbox-quickbooks.api.intuit. Intuit is a company which is providing the software called QuickBooks. And then once we will be completed our implementation, we can roll out our production environment to work with our QuickBooks integration. But in this lecture or in this complete course, we are targeting only QuickBooks Sandbox. So let's quickly start by creating a new trial account and then reading the API. So this is the URL that you need to go to quickbooks.intuit.com/signup.html. It will ask very basic information. One is email address, your valid email address, phone number, and then password. These are the three fields that you need to provide, and once you have provided those, click on this create account, you will get an email to verify that account, and after verifying that account you will prompt to enable the default sandbox. That is what I have given this step for So if you click here step by step, you will be taken to a URL where it is asking you to set up your sandbox here. You can see the very first step is to create a Intuit developer account here. You can see this screenshot which is kind of similar that we have seen. Create an app, that we are going to do that after this, and then get an access token. These are the steps that we need to perform. So this is how you can sign up here, right? I have already an account. I'm signed in. I'm going to sign out here so that I can show you here. Even if you don't remember this link or you're not able to get that, what you can do is you can just quickly say here QuickBooks API documentation and open the very first link that you get. Once you have opened that link, don't worry about that where it does take you. Just click on this sign up button, and as soon as you click on sign up, it is going to take you the same page where you are. You can see now, right? You have got the email address, first name, last name, the phone number and the password. Once you are signed up with this, again you are going to get the verification email, and you can start, after verifying that account, you can start developing your application. Now I already have, so I'm going to log in into my account. So I'm going to sign in here. So this is the email that I have used for the sign up. I already have the password field. I'm going to sign in. Once I'm signed in here, again this is the developer. I'm not going to go to dashboard. I'll close this. You can see this is the developer account that I just created. If I wanted to go to the sandbox or I wanted to go to dashboard, first thing I will show you how I can go to sandbox. Just click on your name that you get here and click on this sandbox, and here you will see the default sandbox that you can click, and it will take you to the default sandbox. That is how you can go to your default sandbox that you will get into the Intuit account. You no need to worry about that, how you are going to set up and all. Just click on your profile, click on sandbox, and then click on the name of the sandbox that you have, and you will see here, right, you have got transactions, and you can just quickly recently go to dashboards, and then you can go to the vendors and some others, like you can transactions, or you can go to reports. So all you can see here, right, you have got invoices. You can just click on overview, or you can just go to all invoices. What are all the invoices over here? So that's how you can visit and you can play around with your sandbox. If you want to create another sandbox, you can create here QuickBooks Online Plus or QuickBooks Online Advanced. You can create any. I'm going to create here for US country. I'm not going to use this, but this is just to show you. You can create here. You can see this is US 1, this is US 2. I can open this as well. So that is how I can use or create the sandboxes in our QuickBooks from our QuickBooks developer account. And you will see here I got this, right, what is your role and all. You can select you are a developer, and then you can say all set. So this was very first step, and you can see that we have got the similar kind of dashboards over here. You wanted to take a tour, you can take. I'm not going to do that, and that is how you can go. Next step is to read the documentation, right? Click on this API docs and tool tab. Go to the API reference, not API Explorer. I have just opened into the new tab, and here the very first step is to read about the authentication. How we can read about authentication, right? So you can see here we have got QuickBooks Online, which we talked about, and you just need to type here QuickBooks in the Google. Just type QuickBooks API authentication, and then open the very first link that you get, and this is going to walk you through one by one where you need to go. Authentication, you can see that we have got OAuth 2.0 for server-side web apps that we are going to use. We have got OpenID Connect as well. We have got Playground. If you wanted to play within this QuickBooks developer account as well, we can do that as well. But we will do this. Now, if you see here, to begin obtain OAuth 2.0 client credentials, create a new QuickBooks Online application. Yes, we are going to create that. As soon as you click on this link, you will get redirected to your application here. I have got one. I'm going to show you how to create one. I'm just going to say here, I will say Udemy integration. Okay, so that you can see how it works. Scope, I'm going to say accounting. Why? Because we are going to work with QuickBooks accounting software. So I have select this accounting. As soon as it will create here, it will take me to the detail page of this application. Now I'm here. Click on this keys and OAuth. You will see your client ID, your client secret. Just copy and note somewhere. I'm going to note it there in the notes. I already have one note created, but I'm going to create one more here. I will say client ID and then just quickly get back to our Google Chrome. I will say client secret and I will just note it here. If you scroll down here, you can see that this is the redirect URI that is already added. But this redirect URI is of, or we can say for the Intuit Playground. We don't want this redirect URI. We want our own. For now, I'm going to add my website URL here, and then later on in the next lecture we will change this redirect URI as well. So for now, let's quickly change it here. I have just put this and then we are going to save it, and let's quickly put this as well over here. Now we have created our application. The very first step, we have got application. Scroll down here and we want this step 1, prepare the authorization request. We talked about in the very first step, we are going to get the authorization code. We will prepare here. You can see this is the base URL. So let's quickly copy this base URL, and what all it requires client ID, scope. We can pass any of this like either accounting, payment or payroll, time tracking, benefits. We are going to pass accounting. Redirect URI, it is a required parameter. We need to pass the redirect URI that we have added into our project. Response type, it must be code, and then state, we can pass any state. And then step 2 is redirect to Intuit's OAuth server. That means to get the access token. How we will get that? Again, if you see here, right, this is the very first step. Let's quickly copy this and we will replace with the placeholders. We have got this client ID, right? So let's quickly copy our client ID over here. So now we are preparing. Now we have got client ID, response code, type is code, scope is accounting that we want. Redirect URI we need to replace with our, so I will just copy and replace over here, and let the state be as it is, whatever it is. We are not bothering about the state. Now let's quickly copy this and hit into our browser, because this is the very first step. What it said, it says that prepare. In the first step it said that prepare authorization request. We just prepared. In the second step it said that redirect to OAuth server. Now we are going to redirect. We just copy and pasted our request over here in the URL and we will hit enter. It will take us to the QuickBooks authorization server here. So you can see it is asking me, it is saying that this is our application Udemy integration, and if you click here you can see what all this app is going to access. You can say connect, because I am already logged in. If you are not logged in, it will ask you to log in here. Now you can see here we have got this code, state and everything, right? So this is the code that we need to use. But for now we are done with the very first step, that is code, to getting the authorization code. Now let it be. We will talk about the other steps. This is the step first, prompt for the user consent. Step 3 that we have already got it. Step 4 is, this is what we have got into the redirect URI. That means we have got the code, state, and then we have got the realm ID as well. What is realm ID? Realm ID is nothing. It is the sandbox ID by which we have authenticated our application. So if you see at the end of our request, our redirect URI, we must have got realm ID here. You can see, and this is our sandbox that we have authenticated with. And next is we need to exchange the authorization code for getting the refresh and access tokens. So you can see what all it needed here. This is the URL. So in the OAuth 2.0, first step is we hit the in the URL, and second step is we hit from the Postman or any web server tool. So for this, now we need to include postman here. So we have got this URL that we need to send. The method is going to be post. You can see here what it all requires. It requires code, redirect URI, grant type. Code is what we have got. Redirect URI we already have. Grant type must be authorization code. Now if you copy this information, I will show you this information and paste into the, here you can see, we need to post to this URL. Accept is going to application by JSON. Header we are going to send authorization. It is going to be the basic of client ID colon client secret, and then encoded into the base64 format. Content type will be application by this. We are going to use that first, and this is the body that we need to send. So let's quickly do one by one. First thing, we got this URL. Set the method as post. Now let's talk about this header, authorization basic, and what the value and where we will get. We have got our client ID. Copy this client ID, put a colon, and then copy this client secret and put a colon over here. Sorry, paste that. Now copy the whole string, go to the browser. I'm going to replace this. I will say base64 encode.org. This is the location where I will paste my string, and then we will encode it. And this is where we need to put authorization. So now we will use postman. In the headers, we will go to headers. We will say authorization. It is saying that it should be basic, our value which we have got. Then we have got accept. It said application by JSON. We have got content type, and it said it should be application by URL form is encoded. It should be URL form encoded. We have got here. Right now we need to send the body. Set the body. It should be raw form. It should be text. There is no JSON, nothing. Make sure it is a text body. Now we will go back to our browser and we will just copy this body. That's it. Copy this body and paste it here, and then make sure that we are putting into the same line. Okay. So this is the redirect URI. Now what we need to do is we need to copy this and make sure we are using the correct redirect URI over here. We use here, and here we need to replace with the code that we will get from our first step. Now let's start this and combine into the same, or we can say combine the same into the single step. Go to the browser, hit the URL that you have prepared. It is going to authenticate, and once, as we already have approved the request, we will get the code over here. So just copy this code, get back to postman, replace it here and send it. So now you can see here we have got access token, we have got refresh token, expiration time. What is token type? It is a bearer here. So what we did is we got the access token, and this access token is valid for 60 minutes. And how we came to know? Because expiration time always returns in seconds, and if you divide 3600 by 60, we will get 60. That means it is valid for 60 minutes, and now we can start making the simple request to the Quickbooks server. Before we made those requests from the Quickbooks, I will show you one more thing. In the very first step, if you have seen, we have got this OAuth 2.0 playground. We can just click here and we can start playing around over here as well in the playground. What application we need to use? We have got two applications, so we can select. We have got this Udemy integration sandbox. That is correct. We have got our client ID, client secret. What is the scope? Accounting. And then get authorization code. This is the similar thing we are following what we did in earlier. Now we got that code right on the URL. You can see this is the realm ID. We haven't got access token. Call for API. We can say accounting. And we need to click on this get access token. We have got this authorization code, realm ID as well. Get access token. Now we have got the access token, realm ID. Here we have got access token, valid for 60 minutes. API get company information, and you will see the result over here. You can see, right? This is the company information result, and this is what we will make. How we will make here? Let's quickly see now. This is the URL we are going to hit from the postman. Let's quickly hit here. What is the method? That is get. Correct. What it is accepting? It is accepting application by JSON. Okay, correct. We have got this header authorization. It is bearer. We will use our own token. And now what URL we need to use? We need to use sandbox base URL. So we will just copy this sandbox and we will paste before version 3. We got here. We are left with the header section. We will say authorization and we will say accept. Accept it here. We will say application by JSON, and authorization is something we need to get the access token from here, and we will put say bearer. Why we are putting bearer? Because the token type is bearer. Put an space over here and use your access token. Click send. And now you can see two-handed status code, company information, sandbox 1, company address, and everything you can see over here, right? Now let's try to play with some other APIs as well. Okay, now this is the playground which you can play around. Go back to our actual APIs. From this drop down, click on QuickBooks Online and we are here. Go to get start, click on this API reference. Now you can see that we have got multiple objects. We have got accounts, we can see bill, company information, customer. So let's quickly try to create a demo customer over here. Click on this customer, click on this create customer. You can see that this is the URL that we need to hit. So we will just copy this URL, get back to our postman, paste it over here. Again we will get back to browser, we'll check the method post and copy this base URL for the sandbox. We will make it post, go to the headers, we will say accept as application by JSON. Why it is important, I will tell you. Let's quickly first send content type over here and I will say accept over here. Sorry, not accept, authorization. In the authorization, just quickly get back to previous request, copy paste the same thing, and into the body what we will send here is we will send JSON this time because we want to send the JSON body. Just copy this complete URL we have got. Okay, so we have got this Kings over here, right? Instead of Kings I will say Panther tutorials, and I'm going to use the same thing over here. I will say it is Junior, Mr. Middle name is here King. I will say Panther. Company name is again going to be the Panther tutorials, and given name I will say Amit. So I have just get the skeleton, made the required changes which I wanted to, and then I will click on this send request. You can see I've got 200, right? And if I see here, I'm getting the response in the form of XML. But what if I need in the form of JSON? That is where this headers comes into the picture. Say accept application by JSON, send it here, and we can say duplicate, name already exists, we need to change over here. I will say Panther tutorials newborn, and wherever I have used this Panther tutorial I'm going to change there, and I will say here this time it is a Panther and click on send. Okay, name already exists, that means we have got here I will say Amit, and here it again Panther tutorial, it should be newborn. So now we are good to go. Here you can see two-handed, and now we are getting in the form of JSON, and you can see we have got the ID as if we see it is 61, right? Get back to our QuickBooks sandbox. Okay, not 2, we will go to playground, click on profile, go to sandbox and open 1, because this is where we are playing around into the sandbox 1. So we have gotten sandbox 1 here. We will go to customers. Okay, we have not over here. Now we should be going here. We are going to open any customer, and I will say here 61, because this is the ID we have got while we have created that customer. Now you can see that this is Panther tutorial newborn. I have no clue about what I have, right? Next thing what I will do is I will go to this payment. Okay, I need to create a payment related to that customer which I have just created. I'll just copy the same URL here. This is the similar kind of things that we need to perform. I'll just do this quickly this time. Now we need to send the body. We will go to raw here, and it is JSON. Okay, and then go back to our request, copy this, and you see here what we are sending here. I'm going to send some big amount like something like this, and customer reference is 61. So I wanted to create my invoice related to this customer. I will click on send, and now I got this to okay. What is the ID? It is 155. Get back to our browser, refresh this, and you will be able to see the payment itself here because we have created under this customer. You can see here this is a payment of the same amount and it is unapplied. So that is how we can quickly do the testing. If you want to explore more, you can try to create some invoices, you can try to create estimates or the proposals, you can try to create employees, bills, accounts, anything that you want to create. You can play around with this QuickBooks online software. So this is it for this lecture. In the next lecture we will implement the same thing into our Salesforce using Apex, and it will be a fun for us. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put down into the Q&A window, and me and my team will definitely help you. Thank you.